this tournament should be one that's like theirs to lose, as it were, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of pressure on the Danes, but let's get into this one. Hugo. Oh, Dinko. It's supposed to have it. It's supposed to have it.
He's here in spirit. But anyway, Down.
Dinko, I'm sorry. Let's go.
Take it away. It's all good. Roy has taken Down's life away, Hawker, and now we're entering.
Hey, there it is.
The advantage for Fnatic, hopping out the window. Refresh. Hiding away from his camera. Tested, we zoom in his eyeballs, but the fights keep coming. Crims keeps getting picks. Refresh, fighting back, minute 23 left in the clock, but Fnatic want to deal with this one very early. A little split up through connector coming through, but there's no bailing out of this one. Fnatic really can't get away from the site. They're committed into B, but potentially a flank come around the backside. It's exactly what Roy attempts, but is exactly what Heroic anticipate.
Yeah, it's going to fall into this little weird 3-on-3 now, right? Bomb going down for Fnatic, and Forest looking like he wants to try and make a bit of a play here. Up close to the market, he wants to fight for this control as they push on in. The element of surprise, Refresh, traded after one, and so it's all left onto Cadian, up through the short side, looking for a way back in.
Well, he hasn't got utility, he hasn't got a kid. It has to just be headshots. And Cadian being tagged up from all directions, really not finding an opportunity into this one, and will get taken out. Nico does take the first round for Fnatic. The T side off to a hot start.
Yes, you love to see it. You feeling good right now, Dinko? I feel like this is a game that's set to deliver, man. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to see the UK boys in force, right? Mezzi's taking over the in-game leadership of this team.
Yep.
That's wild to me because, you know, Mezzi, I've known him for a long time. Obviously has a great idea about the game, how he wants to approach it. But at this level, hasn't really played here for that long. So the fact that he was able to take a win versus Heroic is going to fill him with confidence at the start of the competition. Whether or not he's able to do it in a best of three is a different question. We've seen Heroic play Mirage yesterday. We've seen the CT side be a real problem, a real nuisance. If Fnatic can weather the storm on Heroic CT side early in this game, that could be fun. If you can limit some of the CT rounds they pick up, Fnatic could absolutely do some damage here.
Yeah, one of the things I've always thought about Mezzi is it's like, I feel like you could invent a role that just doesn't exist, and this guy would find a way to make it work. Like, find a way to get good at it. He's like the, you know, the
British Army knife.
Yeah, exactly, right? Actually, that's a very good analogy. Yeah, he really is like a, I don't even want to say a jack of all trades, because it's not like he's, you know, just all right at everything he does. It's like he fully applies himself to whatever is needed to
He's
to
like
lift
a
up
British
the team.
attack.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, kind of done it all, been around the block, now he's added IGLing onto that list. And honestly, I was impressed with what we got out of him on day one. It wasn't anything like crazy. It wasn't anything like super flashy, but in terms of just having the foundations nailed down, it felt like he was there.
Well, earlier today, they had a matchup versus Big. They had a very one-sided opening game. Vertigo kind of fell flat towards the end of the day, and Mezzi really started to drop off individually. And I think that's going to come with being a new IGL, not really knowing how to balance it out and just really focusing on this cause. But the interesting part is that Mezzi is no longer with Alex, right? He was with Alex literally his entire top-level career, really. So it will be interesting to see how that dynamic pans out. Cadian with a scout, looking to see what he can find, doing damage already, Harry.
But that's kind of, you know, that's the end of the intrigue, you know? He gets a couple of scout tags, and it looked like it could have led to something, but in the end, it's going to be nothing here for Heroic. Dead on the short side is Refresh, and so Fnatic, they stick the landing on the conversion, keeping 4 alive, and dealing with the force buy out of the Danes very nicely. You know, they don't take heavy casualties there. They're all good. I
wonder if they played their football today, Harry. I wonder if they were out playing.
Yeah, they do like that, right?
Yeah, they said they do it every single time after every map.
Yeah.
And Paula just starts reaming them out, telling us all about how they don't actually play football. They just kick it and they pass it each other with their arms folded. He really did them.
Look, man, it helps with the unspoken synergy. You know, if you can catch a football that Cadian has
that would be handball.
Punted at you at like 1 trillion miles an hour.
With all of the anger he's stored up from his
exactly.
whatever's left in the screams.
You know, he went 0-10 on Inferno, and so now he's just like took Stown outside and just pelting balls at him, you know?
A little Stown, poor guy. If he can handle that, he can handle anything. Although he did have a really bad start yesterday. Oh, Cadian. Couple of misplays. But I did love when they question, you know what happened after that game? I don't know. We just it wasn't anything to do with me, you know. I couldn't possibly tell you. 0-10. Well, set up for Fnatic, about to come on in. Smoke set up for the jungle. Nice and deep. Fnatic are going to have no issues. No one's on the A side.
Yeah, Crims might die, and he will die to the USPs that are flocking over towards Con. But...
Why is there more happening, Harry?
Hang on a moment. This is meant to be a very clean round, but right now it's a 5-on-3. Little boost up to try and spot over. You've also got a big flank coming in on the ramp side for Stown, but it's been checked. Still, you're down to 2, Fnatic. This is USPs. It's getting out of control. It's getting out of hand. Someone, kill anyone, please. It's just Mezzy. Man at the helm of the pack now needs to lead by example. It's a trial by fire. The USPs nipping away at his heels, and Refresh is there to take it over the line. That is a full USP round with 4 alive at the end of it for Heroic.
Get outside and start playing football, because those rounds are ridiculous. The fact you just have USPs in that position and Fnatic drop the ball, that is such an early tilter. You have to limit all of the CT rounds that Heroic can pick up, and you lose to the USPs. Mezzy, luckily not a player to tilt. Otherwise, God knows what might happen there, because that is a round that Fnatic should not be losing. But luckily, able to come back into it. That bomb plant does give them a little bit of extra cash to play with, and they have a chance to recover and redeem themselves after that completely ridiculous affair.
Dude, I don't believe that. Cadian gonna take it one step further with his AWP. That's a shot over here into Palace, taking a bit of a push early, and Refresh has even dispatched of Roy over in middle. Oh dear, Fnatic. Oh dear. This one is starting to slip away from them.
It's not the ideal start. It was the perfect start for Fnatic, really. You know, you were starting to pick up the first few rounds. You could have really got the ball rolling against the full eco, but you have messed this one up pretty badly. So I'll see if they can recover it in 3v5. Really shouldn't be happening here. Mezzy's going to be walking out the ramp. Kedian has it held. He's even got the rifle beside of him. So he's got a lot of support here. For Fnatic, they're going to try and use the little boost. I love that. Nikodos taking Kedian out, but it is Shush in the close position that takes Mezzy down in response. 40 seconds, bomb down on the ramp. It's just a matter of time before Heroic get a second to forward and tie things up. Oh, Crims.
Surely this is the end of the line, man. He's tagged down low, and Heroic looking good for their second, looking good to tie this game up. I do want to draw attention to that lovely little like bait and switch setup over towards ramp and CT. Very, very powerful. You just kind of saw the results of it there. You know, even though Cadian falls right away, the tag alone lends a lot of credit to that close player at ramp. He's able to go on and double up, and so suddenly the round just starts to kind of spiral out of control. And that's like a really good example of just kind of Heroic like playing the numbers game, playing it smart, knowing that as long as they trade those ramp fights, the round isn't going to get out of hand. So Fnatic, you know, now they've got to bite the bullet on this one. They've got to come in.
Here we go. This is going to be a Fnatic round win.
Yeah,
ready?
man, it should be. Let's see. Can they do it? You know?
It's so good to see Forrest on the screen again in Fnatic jersey. It's just, I wouldn't mind that move permanently, to be honest. I mean, he's no longer with the team, right?
I would love it.
So
man. He's still so good.
He's still sick. It's unbelievable. Although Shush making sure that there isn't really anything getting out of hand here. And that is, that's quick. That's the way you do it, Fnatic. Take note of that. Heroic clean up all the default pistols. They don't allow the bomb plant to come through. It is clean and clinical as we now get into territory where Fnatic will have to buy up again. They have to try and settle the nerves after the absolute fumble in the first few rounds. But the buy is back. The rifle's out. We'll see if they can get off to a good start here. East side still recoverable in the first few. But if you drop this, you're starting to let Heroic really get into the rhythm. And they're a momentum team, as much as that is a cliche.
Hey, middle is a scary spot to try and take right now for Fnatic. Heroic is set up. At least they were 3 strong here. You know, the window smoke somewhat disrupted it, but it's kind of par for the course. You're expecting that to come in, so now they've doubled up on the con side. As Fnatic try to work middle, they're also kind of laying out a bit of an onslaught towards ramp and Palace. It's starting to come through with Forest getting that opener. These guys in middle going to win a fight over on short as well, so they do have a bit of onus over mid right now. They've gotten Mezzi up into the window. Timing's everything on this wrap round here, but currently he's kind of slipped the net. Heroic have entirely conceded this A site control. They've got middle, they've got, you know, some control over towards CT, and then they've also pushed aggro through the B apartments. I wonder what the intent is behind Cadian here. That's awkward for Stown, man. Caught by Mezzi. And so now Cadian's carrying the bulk of this round on his shoulders, coming in on a T-spawn wrap.
Dignitas starts to put the plant in. That is the flank. That is the key play here. Cadian can start to activate a couple of kills. If he can create the space to allow them back into the site, potentially there is something here. Time taking Cadian's chances from this ramp flank to get a pick very slim, given the fact no one's peeking, so he needs to apply pressure to the bomb, and as soon as he does that, smoke goes out, Dignitas lands the headshot. Round will be conceded. Fnatic win a must-win round. It allows them to continue to be competitive here in the first 2 rounds of play. Shush will save his AK. But look at the money here, Harry, for the side of Heroic. It is building. They put their money in something other than crypto, and so everything's going up.
There you go.
Long-term.
Yeah,
it's a long-term stretch.
Long-term investment, man. That's what it is. They got in with gold at the ground floor.
They did. Now,
you own any gold?
Gold?
Yeah.
No, not even jewelry.
No?
Not a jewelry kind of guy.
You seem like someone who would have like a dripped out chain, like a golden, what's the thing called for a car? Little ornament on the front. You know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we've clarified that I'm not that kind of person.
No, yeah.
Car badge, maybe, I don't know. But nope. You got any gold, Harry?
Yeah, me loads, mate.
Money bags,
everything's in gold. Everything.
Yeah, it's a gold toilet seat. That would be kind of weird, though. Gold is pretty soft, so you sit on it long enough, the heat would eventually, like, you would just sink into your own body.
I don't think it's that soft. Woo, Cadian!
But
he's hard as hell, but Roy's found him down here in middle, and we're back into a 4-on-4 with Cadian dead. Stown's trying to make a risky play happen here. Also playing behind this con smoke. Here to Spam, gonna give up the aim of the game for Stown. Trade work is good in middle, but Forest has the round in the palm of his hands. Uh-oh, he's fired off too soon, and Shush is going to turn around and deal with him. Starts to get out of control now. Fnatic, a man down. This mid-control attempt, you know, went very back and forth. It was looking good when they dealt with the double com push, but Heroic had traded those kills out every step of the way. Roy getting that. It's opened up a route into this A-bomb site in the 2v2.
Molotov deep to jungle, rotation starting to come back for a refresh, trying to gather with his teammate, but for the time being there is a slight opening. Testes plays on top of the stairs, and oh, so lucky on the timing. This flick shot from Dignitas not going to land, and now Roy starts to make his way deeper. 25 seconds left in the timer. Roy begins to search for the pick, but look how disciplined Heroic are. They drop back, but Roy still snappy. 3rd kill added to the tally, and he begins to look for a refresh. Often a king in the clutch. A 1v1 up against the Dane on the other side. Refresh creeps closer. Close towards jungle. Roy steps in towards CT spawn for his post-plant position, but Refresh was close enough to hear a couple of those steps, so was completely fixated upon just one position. And Roy holds, waits for the walk around, and the headshot's in. He draws Refresh into the peak, and Roy continues to run for Fnatic.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful from Roy. That right there, man, that's a pretty defining clutch here for Fnatic. They get one of these over the line. That's a 1v2 that he's able to tee up. And it all starts with this kill in what was the 2 versus 3. Wonderful scenes there. Fnatic up onto a 4th. Heroic, they've still got cash to keep the investments coming in, but it's about to run dry. Fnatic win this next one. They're going to be teed up to have a little berth to take them up into the lead here.
They broke down that economy real quick, didn't they? It's a round ago, we talked about how much money Heroic had, but Fnatic have whittled them down, shaken them upside down and stolen their lunch money. Both teams in the same position. Swing round coming up. Looks like Fnatic at the ready for a B hit. faked out some mid control because they set that precedent early that they were going to use utility and take mid, but they've just sent one out through the underpass. The rest about to walk into this B site, and there's only one player playing from here. It's Testis out towards short.
Oh, Testis has a bit of help from Refresh. Forest dead out through the apartments first, and Refresh now brushed aside. Fnatic once again have tried to worm their way in here, but it's gotten a little bit awkward. Heroic have already pulled all these rotations around. They've even got an apartments flank coming in now out of Stown. He's very, very fast here, so whether or not Fnatic are ready for it, we'll have to wait and see. Gonna start to spring this trap on the backstab. If he gets the freebie out of this, it's lovely. And there's Stown and Shush combining for those 2 final kills. I do like that out of Heroic. You know, they give a lot of time, a lot of space to Stown to work that flank. Once he knows he's gotten, you know, real deep through the apartments, it's clear that it's not being considered at that point in time. And so they give him, you know, the full kind of space to make something happen there. No one reacting till he makes contact. And so that threat, you know, where we said Heroic, oh, they could have been put to eco, they could have been in a rough way, it's been avoided. And they've kept this very competitive.
And Fnatic are now down to a pretty pistol round. I like the idea in that round. That was a cool call from Fnatic in terms of how they try to approach it, because they set the precedent early in this game that they want to take the mid control with heavy util. They had to use heavy util in the mid control take early, so then their B split, they couldn't smoke off the arches, they couldn't smoke off shorts, so they ended up getting taken out with a multi-kill out towards that position, and they kind of ruined the explosiveness towards the end. So the execution of the idea would have been better if they had a few extra pieces of utility. Fortunate there for Fnatic, but Heroic effective in taking it down, and now looking at a 5th round surely going to be added to the tally for the Danes. For Fnatic in this round, goal number 1 is to try and get a bomb plant. If you can secure the plant, that would be impressive considering no utility has been invested in. So you're just kind of hoping this mid-prong can somehow create enough of a distraction to open you up. But 4 players are Heroic on this A side of the map.
Yeah, it feels like they've kind of got the read on this one, man.
Reading the book. I can't read.
Nah, me either, dude. The world's just more fun when you can't.
Yeah, I listen.
Ooh, hello. Oh.
What? Boom.
It was a cool idea. Like, you know, they saw the AWP on top ticket and they're like, okay, we have a little trick.
He was on an amusement ride that hadn't been serviced in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Rusty bolt. Detached. And his corpse flies to the air. 5-4, Heroic take the lead. You ever go to those amusements as kids and you can just tell like the people running it?
Oh, bro, we used to have we used to have the donkey derby would come to town, right?
Okay,
and there'd be a lot of donkeys because that was like a big draw.
Oh,
you know,
really?
You get to go see the donkeys,
nice.
But there would always be rides. And man, I ain't saying that they were like way too dangerous to justify going on, but they were like. You
did you go on them anyway?
Yeah, of course.
Of course,
man.
you did.
You're a kid. You're like I'm invincible. Nothing can hurt me. And then, you know. Lo and behold, maybe you get hurt.
Maybe you do, but you're still here, Harry. So
no, I know, yeah.
You're lucky.
I just rode around on the donkey.
the real amusement park right there.
Dude, it was awesome, man. Have you ever seen a donkey in real life?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah?
From Ireland, so we just have donkeys.
Oh, they're just everywhere?
So, yeah, just like in a field. Used to be this like farmer up the road from me that would just have a donkey sitting in his field all day, and I used to go and play with the donkey. I couldn't say donkey, so I called it Dunyek.
Dunyek?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's how I said donkey.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, not the most literate human being, Harry.
I thought it was maybe like some like, I don't know, Irish.
No, it sounds Irish, doesn't it?
It does,
sounds like some Gaelic style of speaking. But no, I don't speak that either. The buy round for both teams. Anyway, slowly transitioning. Smooth and seamless, really. Cadian's about to push in towards ramp early with the AWP now. If he gets caught in this angle, we've seen this earlier today being used over in the other stream.
Right, look, here's the ultimate test, right? We've been talking about donkeys, but right now, Cadian's the guy.
He's the donkey?
Trying to slap some ass, you know? Like, that makes sense, right? Here he is up close to ramp. Can he do it? He's scoped up, right place, right time. Shut up! Gonna give it away. Cadian with the first, and now Shush is here to act as this kind of 1-2 punch. Just drops the smoke. They're gonna play the 5v4.
Cadian looking to take his team to the 6th round if there is no issue. Fnatic, this is not really inspiring at the moment. They're slowing it down. They're don't want to walk through that ramp smoke, so you have to try and find map control elsewhere. They've got Roy out and towards mid. A couple more forces about to peek into him though, and refresh. He's a stallion, not a horse. Oh, that's the same thing. A donkey, you know? You see what I was going for, Harry? Well, shoot, a stallion is a good horse, isn't it? Like, it's like a big horse.
Yeah, man. Would you describe yourself as a stallion or just a horse?
I don't know. It depends.
I'd say you're like a Mustang.
A Mustang. Ooh, I like that. I'm not really an expert on horse myself.
Well, don't worry. You're with the right guy. Here's Forest. Out through Palace.
Shush.
The main man. Now dead to Shush.
Oh, Nico. Oh, but it's all Mezzy.
Starting to fall apart. It's just Mezzy left standing. He was coming back to join him with this A hit, but there was so little time left. Like, they had to go. And
don't die after the time. He's died after the time. Yeah, $250.
That's heartbreaking, man.
He can just about afford a skinned alligator. That's so unfortunate for Mezzy. Go on down. Great. Shoosh. Getting some impacts down as well. Those two players yesterday were looking incredible. Heroic have actually gone for the timeout here. So they're trying to figure out what Fnatic are likely to do heading into this next round, because you don't have a player with a buy because you've just killed someone after the time. What are you considering here? Possibly a forwards, possibly a full eco? Well, they've got to figure that out within this 30 seconds. What's the rarest thing you've eaten, Harry? Obviously, you're a vegetarian, so
the rarest thing
any rare plants you've eaten or anything?
No. You know,
that you could tell us.
Back when I did eat meat, I once tried frog's legs.
Frog's legs, okay.
Which was
never done that. How was that?
I think that might have been what turned me vegetarian.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was like, God, ugh.
This is awful.
People eat this? It just it wasn't actually that bad. It kind of tastes like slimy chicken, but I don't know what either of those things taste like now. I haven't eaten them in so long. Woo, Crim, come on.
Tastes a bit like halloumi.
Yeah, kind of. You know, a bit tenuous on that one. All right, look, man. Who's getting a D kill? Dinko, give me the prediction.
All right, Forest. Look at him.
Forest?
He's so close to the monitor that he can't miss.
Yeah, basically. No, that's true. He is the Deagle right now.
Deforestation, perhaps, though. Yeah. Chop down. Trees are gone.
I'm going to say Mezzy. He doesn't have a Deagle, but I think he's going to get a Deagle. Maybe
that's a bold one, Harry. You picked the one guy without a Deagle, and we're all wrong here. Crims did get one, actually, so there we go. Nico dodge, dead. Test, smacked him. 7-4. Heroic looking quite good, settling into the CT side. It was a very good start for Fnatic, but you know, the scoreline may depict a closer picture, but to be honest, it has really been Heroic settling into this one rather one-sided.
Once we kind of got out of like that back and forth, you know, where like Heroic have been able to have everything they could possibly need, and you start to forget about the pistol round and the results from it. And obviously there was the full eco win for Heroic in amidst all that. Yeah, you know, it actually, I'm inclined to agree with you, it's been pretty one-sided since the guns have come out. And Cadian, man, like he's looking like an entirely different person to the one we saw on day one. This is the guy we're used to seeing, you know, he's brimming with confidence right now. He's out for revenge after that day one matchup.
Did a few extra keep-ups, and now he's ready to go. Coming out swinging yesterday, missing those shots, not really getting the same impact out of his risks that he was taking. These risks seem a little bit more calculated, though. Yesterday's risks were taking risks for the sake of it. They were handled pretty well. Heroic do their best work on the CT side, pushing in towards the ramp. It's really difficult to play against Heroic, and this is a true test, really, for Mezzy's in-game leadership ability. When you're playing a map like Inferno, right, if Heroic don't get to play the same style on the CT side, where you can constantly be aggressive, you can adapt the CT side immediately on the fly, this is a completely different beast. Calling against Heroic is almost impossible. I was talking to Golden about this when he used to call against Heroic. He would like give them a bit of false information, hoping they would gamble stack based on that, and they would still make the right read. So, you know, you've got someone who's much more experienced in the calling department like Golden, who just can't crack the code on them. It's a real test here for Mezzy to see where he can get it, to how many rounds he can pick up in the first half.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the things that's so tricky as well is that, like, they are a pretty aggro team out of the gate. You know, they're not afraid to like throw a fight at you early on and try to thin the numbers on the back of some like very orchestrated peak, you know, like to take that opening fight. Like this is an example, right? Cadian has that smoke to help him get down through lower. He runs the gauntlet, deals with the guy, and then just gets the hell out of there. And I think one of the hardest parts is it's very, very tempting to slow down your rounds and wait for that aggression. But oftentimes, I feel like it doesn't work as well as, you know, maybe it should. It's like the standard ruling is, okay, they're pushing us a lot early. Let's kind of hold this default. Let's wait and see what fights they give us. And normally you still end up losing those opening fights. Now you have the downside of like playing from a man down. You're moving into a sight hit in like the final 30 seconds. Heroic is super mobile. They're all about grabbing information, leaning into stacks. And so you kind of end up like you get forcibly kind of made to play Heroic's game. And it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a big question to see if Mezzi can somehow turn this around for Fnatic towards the end of this first half.
It's just hard to see a world in which they get much more than 5 rounds in the half, unfortunately, at this point. So, best I'm looking for is that 5th round. If they go into the half with 5, I can see them sustaining a pistol loss and potentially staying in the game. But when you're 11-4 down, I don't think you can sustain a pistol loss and still be okay. We'll have to see. It's going to be Fnatic getting up in towards the ladder room, clearing it out. They've got a good bit of map control here, but Heroic really shouldn't have too many issues. They're holding the range advantage with the rifles. They've leaned 3 players towards A. They've got deep control in the apartments of Refresh. Snow can miss that fight quite heavily and actually loses his life in the trade from Roy. So that's an upgraded weapon. The Shush will fend off the connector flight and peeks out again for the second onto Crims. It's just down to Mezzi and Nikodos, and they'll see what they can do, but they're just going to meet the same fate as their teammates.
Oh no,
everyone.
Accidental right.
Yeah, we've all been there a couple of times. You ever play with M4 without a silencer? Sounds pretty cool.
It sounds cool.
That's about it, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where the list of benefits starts and ends. You know, everything else about it is worse. Man, you know, I feel like as this has gone on, you've really seen the depiction that we were kind of teeing up, and that's it stopped being so much like what a Fnatic want to do in these rounds. It's more like how are they adjusting to what Heroic are doing.
Yes, how can you make the most out of nothing?
Exactly,
basically.
And so it's like, you know, the fact that Heroic are really the ones like controlling the flow of the game right now is certainly a worrying sign. Fnatic, you haven't really had any of these like faster rounds anymore. You know, think about how they tried to smash that B bomb site early on. They just went for like an all-in play with MAC-10s. I know it didn't work, but these were like faster rounds that we were getting. They were a little more typical for the Fnatic squad, whereas now it's kind of cruel, you know, slowed to a bit of a crawl, really. I think it's kind of wild as well, because when you look at Fnatic, there's so many good entry players in this team. You've got Roy, who's this like phenomenal Danish entry player from Copenhagen Falmez fame. Then Nikodos, someone who can provide those openers with the AWP. But just look at the setup here, right? If this doesn't echo the sentiment that right now Fnatic are playing very default heavy, they are waiting for this early aggression. Missed shot for Cadian, and this time won't get away with it. So Mezzi, this is kind of the moment that he's been waiting for throughout the last, you know, 4 or 5 T rounds. Finally, that opening shot, that opening chance doesn't go the way of Heroic, and now Fnatic are the ones a man up. So this is like the moment you've been really putting all faith into. What's he going to do with the 5-on-4?
But you can see the immediate reaction from Heroic. They had Stalin try and trade the kill with a flash play out of connector. That didn't work. So now they pushed 2 players into the B apartments. They've left Refresh deep in the apartments. So they know that Fnatic aren't coming towards this B site right now at all. So they can bolster the defense on A and try and hold this down. Down, rattling away, gets the double. Mezzi and Roy both go down, and Down finally traded out. But his work has already been done. It feels real tough now for Fnatic, who are now down to the 3v3, and Refresh is pushed all the way behind him. He's starting to counter the connector. There needs to be a quick kill here for Nikodos, but it's not quick enough. Doesn't get away, and just Crims. Bomb isn't down, 20 seconds left, and look at that. Just the reactions of Heroic. They don't leave a second for you to try and figure it out. You have to immediately react, otherwise they're going to get all the info. And Crims, quite the master of the clutch, time and time again. This time being peppered down through the boxes. He's down to 17. And they're both doubling up. They're playing together. So this makes this very difficult because Crims can't sustain any more damage, right? A bullet goes through, takes him out pretty quickly here. Crim's under a lot of pressure, and finally the spam will come through. This time it is lethal, and even after the initial kill for Fnatic, they're unable to convert the round win.
Oh man, that's rough. It's like now, now you kind of realized how you just scraped, you just scraped the tip of the iceberg, really. There's actually a lot more problem solving that's going to have to go into this. Even when you get Heroic Command down, their responses, their protocols that are in place are very, very clean. Even in the 3v1, the way that they approach it, giving Crims like no fights, no chances. He has to go and look for an engagement in CT. That was actually like very, very forward thinking from Crims. It allowed for the bomb plant. But even then, it's like, what room did he have? None. He was stuck at triple the whole time. They spammed him down to 10 points of health. So yeah, this is really nice out of Heroic. Once again, Fnatic are going to get that opener. This is 2 rounds in a row now where they've successfully gone 5-on-4 up to open. This time they have to stick the landing, or else Heroic have chained all these rounds together. They are in prime position to run away with Mirage. Once again, would have had a really good first half.
Once again, the reaction from Heroic is instantaneous, right? Look, you see the push through Palace comes in for Shoes. They don't let it slip for that long. You lose the first player, they either try and trade that or they get map control back. And Shoes just push through Palace, and that's where the trade comes back in. So now you see a player coming late into Palace. The signal is potentially an A play to finish this one. You can start rotating players back, but Fnatic doing a decent job at getting a couple of these kills back. But the window boost is watched by Cadian, but it's the power position of Shoes. Fnatic realize they have to clear him out. They have to take him out of Palace, and he knows if he just holds this, he's got a powerful position to set up a distraction that gives more space to his team to get back in for the retake.
Yeah, Fnatic now either have to fight forward or go back and try and deal with this Palace player. Right now, they're kind of waiting inside of the site. They've got a man holding for this Palace swing, but it's taking eyeballs off of other avenues here for Heroic. Flash goes in for Cadian. This is going to trigger the push. Shush out and in with one. Traded after the fact. It's Cadian at 2 HP, desperately trying to wallbang. It's not going to happen. Fnatic, they do right their wrongs. They come in with a 5th round. It's Crims and Mezzi to deliver it all. Some things never change. And so that there is going to allow them 5 at the end of this first half, but still a 7-round streak for Heroic. It's nothing you can turn your nose up at. This has been a very good first half for the Danes.
It's been very solid for Heroic. And it is almost paramount that Fnatic found that last round at the end of the half. So fantastic job from Crims. Mezzi gets an important kill in the crunch time. You can see Shush trying to play off the distraction of his teammates, comes out of Palace. So great job in terms of being able to deal with that for Fnatic. And they get somewhat of a lifeline coming into the second half. But it goes without saying, as much as it is a cliche, this pistol round means a lot to Fnatic. They need to pick this up going into the start of the second. If they don't, well, we're going to be looking at a pretty difficult spot for Fnatic to stay competitive throughout Mirage. We'll see what they have up their sleeve. It's a quick B play here from Heroic. Utility being dumped in, flash being put on towards Mezzi. He's going to hear this. He has a good setup for Roy to try and deal with it.
That flash is brutal though. Roy is now dead and Mezzi is overwhelmed. They sprint at him, they run him down. And now they're left in this 5-on-3. Bomb getting planted, it's for the apartments. They've got a man waiting here. Burst out a refresh, all right lad. 4 in the round, he's on for the ace. Go forth and get your fortune refresh. Here it is on the short side. He wants all 5 for the pistol, and there he is with the ace. Woo! He made that burst fire Glock look good.
Well, I don't have to tell you, Harry. Fnatic didn't win the pistol. Refresh just comes in, swinging, chopping up the players inside of the market. There's absolutely no way he should be able to get away with this. Refresh dives down, takes out Roy, continues to move forward. A second pick found on the Mezzi, but this is unforgivable. They should have taken him out of the round, but Refresh, once you get the 4K, you've got to go and hunt that final player, and he does exactly that. 11 rounds now for Heroic. Fnatic down into the doldrums. The force buys come through, but it's pistols and a scout up against rifles, and a couple of SMGs already here for Heroic. Utility going up in towards top con. They've already taken mid-control here, Heroic. Setting up, about to fight in the ladder.
Roy, 5-7 in a dream. But the dream catcher of Stown is there to knock him out of the round. Still, the trade's going back and forth. 3 strong inside of the B site. Heroic not knowing to commit into those stacks. They sense trouble ahead, and so they're going to go back. They're going to reroute in this round, try to look for greener pastures.
Not a bad start here for Fnatic in terms of the initial kills that they find. They've actually softened up Shush as well. How do Heroic weasel their way back into this one? What's the call that Cadian's made? Yeah, he's got the Mac 10 in hand. Almost would like Cadian to take the AK out of the hands of Shush. Give him the Mac 10, send him forward on the low HP. Oh, Crims. He's found Cadian though on the start of the site. Cadian was not with his teammates, so unfortunately getting the weapon into his hands was almost impossible. Stown is going to dive on out. The two AKs left to do it. Stown, the playmaker, having to create the space because of his teammate, who is damaged up. Stown not getting chances. Fnatic discipline, they realize this is a miracle chance to get back into the second half. If you don't pick up the pistol, you better hope you can find the force buy. Down applying pressure, sets up the peek from Mezzi, who goes right into the crosshair of Shusha, now dives out of the apartments, taps onto the bomb. Nikodos trying to come back in, but Heroic are recovering this one. It's just down to Crims, and he's slowly slinking back. No kit, no utility, no Kevlar here for Crims. As much as this looked like a golden ticket for Fnatic, Heroic have snatched it away.
I mean, this scout is still going to hit like an AWP, and I think he saw a little barrel there, right? So he knows when one of these players are. But Stown holding the angle, that is a thing of beauty. Crims thought he had the drop. He thought he had them right where he wanted them. But he plays into Heroic's hands. Man, for Fnatic, that one's going to hurt. They get it real close. They had a real chance to win that out. And I think you did a great job of kind of highlighting the importance of capitalizing on moments like that. But Heroic do not make it easy for you.
Now you're looking at Nico.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is essentially, you know, this game is going to come down to, do Fnatic win their first rifle round? Because if they don't, Mirage becomes a distant memory. They're a map down in a series where it really is all or nothing. You know, you're either continuing on, you're making it to the playoffs, you're trying to make this deep run, or you're done.
4 players here for Fnatic right now. 3 players here for Fnatic right now, and Forrest, he's the next player on the chopping block likely here. Dink onto Stown. Smart play to just drop back. 2. Allow your teammates to move forward, and they're all dropping like flies right now on the Fnatic side. Kenny looking for money, and soon to be none.
None. It's just Roy left on a little CT wrap.
Roy looking for pure Yoy.
Roy with the double, 5-7, and with a chance. 1v2 for Roy now.
Stown's low.
Okay, there's the chance here, Roy. Once again, you know, it's a big opportunity for Fnatic. They didn't have a hell of a lot coming into this round. No. Roy, can he do it? Up close, Stown is here. Gonna have to get out of there. He's got support from his teammate back at ramp. Roy, how on earth are you meant to get into this one? What? That's a dink! Roy, it's so close! But Stown's gonna put a stop to the madness. It's a damn good try, but not enough for Fnatic there. Oh, man. I thought he was going to do it. Shush was the biggest, like, scariest thing in that round, and he taps him out like it was easy.
Yeah, he brought me to a pitch. I didn't even realize it was in my register. That is incredible that he gets it this disassemble. Smoke goes up towards the apartments, deep in towards it. The other side, held behind it, are Heroic, tentative on the approach. But it's about to be explosive.
Yeah. It is going to come in just a moment, right? They're now grouping in the apartments, all 5 here. They're looking to move in. Flash is going over the top. Mezzi's going to respond with the first. It's a good opener, but he's lost his teammate on the short side. Mezzi's now got to do the heavy lifting all alone, tucked in at the bench. He knows he's about to get fights, and that molly catches him out in the open. Crims does what he can to hold on, but it's not enough. Ikadar's now waiting with this AWP. Forrest moving in to join him. It's a double.
Forest. It just has to be on the flank, but
he's
position
saving.
Now, give it away. He's going to grab the AWP and get out of there.
Man.
It is frustrating here for Fnatic. Mezzi does a good job at buying a lot of time. He gets the initial kill as well, slows it down. Rotation's starting to come in, but it's not enough for Fnatic to stay competitive.
I mean, you know, we just said, like, Fnatic needed to win this. It all kind of hinged on winning this first rifle round, because now they're up against 14 with nothing.
They're about to lose the AWP as well here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he's looked away.
Oh, my God, Forest.
Forest gets in the corner. Kedian tracking. Doesn't see him. Doesn't go around the corner. Luckily there for Forest, he finds the little nook and cranny. Truly the ninja still in him.
As we say, you know, this is an all or nothing series. You're either eliminated or you're going through to the playoffs here at the Pinnacle Cup Championship rather. And of course, you know, if you want to find yourself in attendance, tickets are still available. You can scan that QR code and go ahead and pick those up. It's in Lund, lovely little town in Sweden. And hell, we might not have, you know, like kind of some big Swedish names there if this keeps up for Fnatic.
I'm sure they'll stick around though, and you will probably still get to meet them here at the event. We've got Get Right hanging around here at the moment. We got Forest. We're getting all the legends out here, and you know, Golden on the desk. He'll certainly be there. So there will be some confirmed Swedish presentation in the playoff stage of the competition. But yeah, I mean, it's very close to Copenhagen. So if you're a fan of Astralis, come on by. They're in the playoffs already.
Yeah, mate. Just drive over the bridge, take a train, whatever you'd rather.
Walk, swim, do anything, really.
It's like half hour.
You can take an electric scooter.
Honestly, you're kind of missing out. Like, if you... It's so, you know,
it's
so
like,
accessible.
what, 15 euros, 16 euros for a ticket? You guys
it's
buy
14 pounds, I think. So I don't know what that is in euros.
16 euros. Or something like that. Yeah, not bad.
Mainline.com or whatever. I don't know all the prices, but I'll give you my best estimate, I guess.
Harry will literally pick you up on a scooter.
Yeah,
and bring you over
I will scoot and I will meet you at the airport and I will chauffeur you here. Crims, he's going to show Shush something now.
Oh, refresh!
Walking out of Palace. It's a good adjustment from Dignitas. Gonna reclaim that lost man. So the lead still held by Fnatic in this round. 4-on-3. Mezzi with the Goblin angle.
The Green Goblin.
Here he is.
Spider-Man's nemesis.
KDM.
Oh, he's got him.
Shooters, mate. They're sticking out. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's the bomb as well. Like, playing triggered. Just knife him, bro. Just knife him.
Yeah. There we go. Finally. He's like, what? Surely the bomb isn't here alone. But nope. Kedian has gone up with the bomb alone. And everything is going down. Tesla's out of there. 6 rounds for Fnatic. There he is, the Green Goblin himself. Black and orange goblin.
Yeah, man, the two-tone goblin.
Yeah, it's my favorite one, actually. We hear Kedian on the mic. Don't speak Danish, but I'm sure someone at home does. Not getting as loud as he was yesterday. Hugo was telling me you guys could hear him from this room.
Yeah, you know, at times. Not when he was 0-10. He was pretty quiet then, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
Dude, I gotta say, Forest is having a bit of a rough one right now. 3 kills, and we're 21 rounds deep.
This one's just getting started, though, Harry, so let's see what he can do in this one. Forest on the AWP.
All right.
This is his round, I feel it.
I'll subscribe to this.
Subscribe in your Forest.
Subscribe to the Forest, there we go.
Need his mushrooms and be at 1 with Forest himself. It's about to be an execute in towards his position. He's playing in front of the smoke, so he will actually be able to deal some damage here. EG.PA.
Oh, you're lucky to be
alive. And he goes out again and dies. No kill for Forest in this round.
Hey, that is brutal. And as they try to turn to deal with the hole that's been made over in A, that's where the con split comes in. This was very well put together by Heroic. Boom. All right, Dignitas, come on then. Give us a reason to believe. 1 kill is not enough to believe yet. 1 kill, not enough to make me a believer.
You won't subscribe to this one. The 4v2, Heroic happily sitting by. Nothing coming their way. Fnatic have to concede. Their chances must come in a later round. I don't think they're going to get many rounds to play with here. 15 secured for Heroic. This is looking to be an absolute smackdown. Oh, missed shot from Dignitas. Everything looking to be removed. No mercy today for Heroic. Getting revenge is their main priority. Fnatic kicked them early. Took the win in the opening match in the best of 1. But Heroic starting with a strong statement here today. The best of 3 elimination game. The favorites for the competition will not go out. In their mind, at least. There's still lots to play, but right now, Fnatic not posing much of a threat. This is what you've got on the Fnatic side to play with going into possibly the last round of this game. It's going to be the M4A1 SL3, MP9, AK-47, a little bit of utility, but not a whole lot. Namely, there isn't actually Molotovs in play. There's one in the hands of Crimp, so we won't be able to slow anything quick here. And it is pretty quick here out of B.
Yeah, they're trying to do what they can on these entries. Heroic, the flashes were good to move them in, but over on the short side, Crims has held it down rather. As he's still playing up close, going to turn him to mincemeat, and so the Danes, they come a-knocking, and it's the Brit out with the reply over at Van. He's been the two-tone goblin, now the white van man.
White van man. That sounds more sinister.
Men with Ven. And so Fnatic not out of this one yet. You know, they've still got a bit of fight left in them. It is going to be a comeback of epic proportions needed, though. They need 8 more in a row if they want to take this to OT. It's wishful thinking currently. But hell, man, all great comebacks got to start somewhere.
Gotta wish.
Go to Wish. Buy a comeback.
Buy a comeback. It'll get you to 14 rounds.
Is this like a premium, you know, premium select comeback, or is it a Wish comeback? Let's find out.
Or yeah, other cheap manufacturers are available. But we'll see how this one pans out. Heroic 3 AK still pose a threat, a deadly threat, in fact, as Roy push up into middle. He's gone down early on, so first pick is Heroics. Nice reply from Crims. He's caught in the connector. No one's there to help him out. He's going to be forced into the open. Fantastic work there from Crims to get the double kill.
Yeah, he's done his part in the round, but now everyone else needs to hold their own. Nikados, okay, playing in the window smoke, hoping he's given a gunfight here, but they are looking to move out of middle. Slipping instead down through lower.
Refresh is about to enter the apartments, and Mezzi's pushed up pretty far. He's found himself a comfortable little spot in the sofa area. He is not a welcome guest. He deploys his security measures.
Yeah, now they know, right? Mezzi, yeah. No one's only half the battle. The other half, well, it's the battle. And Mezzi wins them both. Swings it wide. I like that as well. That's a little more confidence there out of Mezzi, right? You're up against 15. If you lose that round, it's all over anyway. So he just kind of, you know, throws a bit of caution to the wind. He tries to fight them on his terms for a change. And it's a thing of beauty here. That's like vintage Mezzi just anchoring down the apartments. Doubling up and safeguarding the round. Fnatic with 8 and an eco for Heroic. When this is all played out, it's just going to be 6 between Fnatic and the Danes.
Nate going down to the underpass. Caught in the undertow. Heroic certainly starting to wake up inside. Mezzi peeks out onto shore, getting out of that. Nate's going to be sent in to deal with some of the softened opponents. Doesn't actually land anywhere near them. So, picked up rifle. Nikados is taking one of the USP, but is immediately answered upon. Fnatic should have really no issues closing this, but never really know. There's a rifle still in the hands of a Heroic player. SS low.
Right, you don't win that, yeah. Yeah, there was no winning that fight, but on the upside, there is a chance of the plant. Whoa, shush!
Wow.
Go! Put in those digits. He's done it. They've got the plant. That's what Heroic wanted. Anything else is a bonus, but should be the end of the line, and there it is. Mate, that was actually a really nice idea. They leave the A1S in mid, it gets hunted, the A players pulled away to go and support the mid-crunch, and it lets that bomb plant come through. That is very much Heroic, just planning for the future, right? Making sure that those bank accounts are built up in this next buy round. They're going to have the AWP, they're going to have all the bells and whistles. This is now, you know, their chance to close this out. No excuses here.
It's like the classic matchmaking strat of you go A and I plan B, kind of, but
with a bit more flair.
Yeah, more flair, but more about it, really, and so that's good. He got some extra cash out of that. And maybe that extra cash might just be enough to topple the Fnatic side here on Mirage. But I'm glad to see a few more rounds being picked up here for Fnatic. Even if they lose this, which they should, at least you got into the first game a little bit, and you can leave with your head a little higher. There's that mentality shift going into the second map. You feel a little bit better about this. I love how far Forest is pushed down through the ramp here. So much control already taken. Going to push too much further forward, so Shush isn't going to be in a position to see him or really do anything about Forest, and Forest isn't going to see anything with Shush, but he's just picking up information that no one's pushed into A just yet. But if they come back, that's when Forest's position becomes real deadly, and that's exactly what they're doing here, Harry.
Yeah, it makes me nervous that it's Forest here, though, dude. He's had a really rough go at it, and he's missed a lot of shots that are very uncharacteristic. Like, if there ever was a time to get him back in the game, it would be with a multi-kill in this position. You know, this could be the reactivation of Forest. He's been spotted. Oh, that's the bomb. It's a good start for Forest, but it's only one. Cadian's going to trade it still. He's got so much info from this.
And it actually just disrupts the play entirely, because you can't just go for that smoke execute, because the bomb fell down. You had to drop off the platform. You had to waste a few more seconds, and in that second, it's allowed an adaptation for Fnatic, an adjustment to the defense, and that's the push of Crims in towards ramp. 25 seconds left. If you're heroic, you can't be that methodical. Of course you have to clear this position, but oh, Crims gets the double. Kitty and Refresh go down, and the impact is felt from forced push in the initial part of the
show with this second. Lights them up on the push, and now just plays the numbers game, right? No point overextending here, giving that AWP over, giving Heroic a chance. You can play the 4v2. Hello, Cadian's just lost the bomb on a stairs push. Oh my god,
oh,
Shush. Hang on. This was not meant to be winnable. This wasn't meant to happen. He's only got a P250, only got the sidearm. This jungle player is a little bit away, and so Shush has time to get that reload off. Was not aware about Mezzi here. I think a big part of his brain had assumed that if anyone was jungle, they would have come swinging. They would have supported that CT player. They would have gone for the trade. And so Mezzi arriving late might have actually served him well there.
And that's a little warning system to Fnatic. Yes, you're very much mentally in the game now, perhaps even physically in the game, but that's a little warning of the ability of Heroic. They have so much firepower. It's hard to keep that firepower suppressed when they're on match point for so many rounds. You have to be perfect for Fnatic if you want the full comeback. Refresh has got the first kill. Forest is down. Crims is trying to pull that one back by playing his way through Palace. He's hanging around here, but eventually you start to feel a little uncomfortable. Particular Dignitas was his main support network, and he now has to worry about connector 2. Roy's pushed up through short. There is a couple of protocols in place here for Fnatic, but when you're down a player, there is going to be a gap somewhat. I think right now that potentially is that ramp setup. They walk through the ramp right now, puts pressure onto the AWP here. There's two AWPs inside of the A site. Crims needs this kill. If he gets this, Fnatic are in a great position, and that's exactly what Crims goes and gets.
Alarm bells are going off now for Heroic. They need someone to make a play. Refresh is trying to be that man, but no fights are getting given to him, and these AWPs continue to disrupt Heroic. Refresh, man, your time, your window's closing. Oh, he's just made it across underneath the Palace player. Oh, Dignitas, what is that? Wall bangs him out. It's just Cadian left, and Dignitas lays down the pain with the AWP. Another round for Fnatic on this comeback. Another round in the right direction. Closer and closer to that big threat of overtime.
We're
now
really
12 to their name. And I mean, dude, like, this double off A-hold, a thing of beauty.
Oh, he's seen the elbow.
He saw the elbow and he saw the toes. Dignitas with a foot fetish over here, man. Look at him go.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And that's Fnatic marching their way back into this. It's quick. It's very quick here from Heroic. Forest is there, signaling the alarm bells that needs to go. They realize the double up setup, so a quicker call. Out of spawn here for Heroic. Is this the banana peel? The Fnatic slip upon, but it doesn't look like it. Mezzi's held. And Stown with the rifle. Bomb loose, but so much time.
Yeah, and mate, Stown in these clutches, I don't know. This guy kind of steps it up a level when you throw him into a clutch. He's only got himself to worry about now. Hoping that he's given an early engagement, but all this waiting has lended time to Fnatic. They've sent a big wrap in through ramp. Roy moving in for the backstab.
The longest Stown takes, yeah, he's just not really considering this ramp flank.
It's not gonna, it shouldn't happen now. Too much time lended to that ramp flank, and Roy gets there silently, no idea for Stown.
2 rounds away from overtime now for Fnatic. I like the call there from Heroic. They see the double up setup was used in the A site in the previous round. So they call a little investment, Tech-9s, armor, charge it out A. Try and beat that smoke. Try and just get out before the util. I like the call. Definitely makes a lot of sense on paper. But Forest does well to get the early pick. If he goes down without the fight there, who knows? Maybe the op's under pressure. Doesn't have the extra second to react and compose themselves to be able to deal with it. But a buy is now in for Heroic. This is the decisive one. If Heroic lose this, Fnatic surely will be in pole position to bring us to overtime. It's heavy through middle for Heroic. Everybody applying pressure. Molotov goes around towards short. They've already taken so much control. Roy's about to be dunked on. Nade takes him down to 58 HP, and he is looking for this first pick. He wants this first kill, and the flash goes around the corner. Roy goes down, and Heroic have the first kill of round 29.
This is one of the best spots that Heroic have been in since they've tried to close this game out, right? They were 15-6 up, and now we're at this point where we were considering overtime. They're in this 5-on-4. These are the moments where Cadian has to dig deep, has to deliver a round-winning strat to just put this game to rest. There is a big flank right now, pushed all the way through A. Forest embarking on a big old journey here, has got the crunch on these mid players, but Refresh is considering it.
Yeah, Heroic have so much time, they can wait for this. They can wait, they know Fnatic has to react, and there's the information. Now they know, okay, likely a possible stack in towards this B side. Now we start to think about the connector play. Maybe we can start to take control of that, but Forest comes back, he double dips, and there was no way Refresh thought he was going to stick around. That's a big kill to find, but they came up through.
They're hitting both bomb sites right now. They're in B and they're in A.
But the bomb's only gone to one. The bomb has only gone to A. 19 seconds left. Sticking around is Crims. He knows the bomb's gone down on this A site. Dignitas is taking out Testes, so it's all on Cadian. The 1v4 to survive overtime possibilities. He can close it, but it's going to have to be in the most heroic fashion.
He's cognizant of the wraparound. Cadian needs to be flawless in every one of these fights, and it's wishful thinking. Crims nails him on that quick jiggle out of ramp. That whole round was destined for Cadian to be the man to set up to clutch it, and he falls short. 4 left standing for Fnatic. This is going the full 30 rounds. Heroic, have they let this one slip away from them?
It's all Forest in this round. You know, the player we criticized about his performance, maybe a little quiet in that first half, but it's the impact he finds. The reaction, similar to that of what we were discussing in the first half from Heroic. When you lose the first play on the CT side, there needs to be some sort of reaction. You need to either get map control back, you need to get the trade kill. And we see Forest, not without a second, he's pushed through ramp, he's getting all the info and realizing no one's here, no one's at T-spawn. That's information that allows the Fnatic side to continue the stack of 2 players in the B side. No one has to take a risk over there, but it's the double dip from Forest, the balls, really, to go back into that mid-fight again. Refresh is holding for it, but he wasn't ready for him to come back. And that's the game sense. You can't really teach that. That's just a feeling that Forrest had to stick around and go for that again.
It also speaks volumes as to where this game is at and the Fnatic we're seeing right now. Because if that was earlier on in the game, Forrest would have just left. He would have given them the respect. You know, it was a very respectful first half from Fnatic where they kind of played on Heroic's terms. That's not happening anymore. The game has changed now. Looking like it's going to be another one of these just flat-out A executes. Heroic are putting it all on the back of A smokes.
And here it comes, utility being sent forward. Crims smoked off this time, so as the player committed inside of the smokes, there's Forrest that looks to try and get it done. First kill will go Heroic's way. They've cleared out Forrest. The machete chops down the trees and gives the chance now to Heroic to try and close this one out.
From 15-6 into round 30, is it all for nothing? Fnatic, a man down. They've got to dig deep. They've got to try and pull this one back from the most dire of circumstances. Already, Heroic are deep towards CT. Tess says they don't know about it, but here he is, swinging out. Crim's now dead. Tess says, we'll get traded. Still, you're dealing with the deficit here if you're Fnatic. What are they going to do? Mezzi in the window. Good for the first, but Cadian's just being elusive, just dancing around. Mezzi's now dead. Nikados needs to serve up something huge. 1 versus 3, and this one is too far gone. Now Heroic a map up in this series. They stole away Fnatic's map pick 16-14. Now we head to Overpass. This used to be a bread and butter map of Alex's Fnatic.
Yes.
How is this new look squad going to fare on it?
Well, I'm sure Mezzi, as the caller, will look to try and dish out some of that, but dishing out kills on the side of Fnatic. Roy had the top performance for this side earlier today on Overpass. Fnatic did very well on the CT side. As Golden was mentioning, they get to start on the CT side this time around, rather than the T side, which they started on earlier, which really didn't go so well for them. Stown and Shush down into the 2 versus 5. Fnatic off to an absolute flyer with the kills.
Yeah, I don't think Heroic were necessarily ready for this, right? Like, the first half of Mirage was kind of super tapered from Fnatic. They looked a little scared. They were playing a little scared. Whereas, you know, after getting the full 30 rounds, I bet that has kind of dished a bit of confidence out. And they come into this pistol fighting.
Send the smoke on into the site. It's going to be the Hail Mary play really here for Heroic. Forrest even under so much pressure, even after getting gooshed up, still able to stand tall for the kill. And to put Stown alone into the 1 versus 5, he'll start to drop back, hearing the steps, I'm sure, starting to consider the connector. Back, takes down Nikados. So it won't be the clean sheet for Fnatic, but very much will be their pistol round in just a moment. Stown starts to walk forward, likely to his death in just a moment. Flank coming around from the backside of the toilets as well. Stown walking right into Roy, and he'll collect himself the 2nd kill of the 1st round.
I gotta say, there's some really nice little details that my eyes appreciate in the server, and that's the cool little branded Pinnacle like outfits.
Oh, yeah, they're cool.
And also the fact that they like redid the signpost that you line up smokes with.
And here on Graffiti, they've actually graffitied the wall in Pinnacle as well.
Oh wow. Yeah, look, it's all like super cool. It's really tight. Oh, there's one here as well.
Yeah.
Like you never know, you never forget what you're watching.
Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
say that
Subliminal
much.
messaging on point for sure. But right now, we're not going to forget that Fnatic have won the 1st round, likely, because we did see a ridiculous. I can't believe it, but that last game came down to 1 round to overtime, and Heroic won a full USP round in that game, Harry.
Yeah, right. So, like within that context, if you just won that 1 round to USPs,
it's overtime.
You could be an OT right now.
And you could have won the map. But Heroic should not be doing that with Glocks and P250s. Now, this should very much be a Fnatic round, but they want to try and keep it clean. They want to try and keep as many players on the board as possible here for Fnatic to get things kicking.
Yeah, you know, I got to say, man, I hope that Fnatic can keep up this performance.
Yeah, this level's nice.
You can't help but be romanced by the story of this team as well. Like, you know, the desk we're talking about it, especially like, you know, whenever you think Fnatic, it's kind of sad because, you know, your brain goes to like the glory days. You know, I'm talking, you know, your Olofs, your Flushes, your JWs. Maybe it even goes further back than that. And, you know, you're thinking of your Forests and whatnot.
Next,
yeah, but Yeah, in recent times, you know, it has kind of been a darker chapter in the Fnatic storyline.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so cool about this team is, like, not only do you kind of have a lot of pieces that feel like on paper they should work together, right? I think this is the best looking Fnatic squad on names alone that we've had in a good while. And on top of that, it's like, for the individuals in this team, it's super cool. You got like Mezzy as like this breakout British star that shows that he's willing to do whatever it takes to find success for his team. You've got Crims, who has been tied to this org for so long now throughout so many iterations of squads, and he's always been a big performer. Then in terms of like the new bloods, you know, you've got the Danes coming over from the Copenhagen Flames squad, who, you know, you've got some really, really, like, flashy pieces in there. And then you've got Forest right now as the 5th to, like, tie it all together as this grizzled, seasoned vet, you know, up there alongside your Crimses. It's super cool. It's very easy to get behind this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really interested to see, you know, how Mezzy is going to continue to call for this team. Obviously, he has spent most of his top-level career with Alex. Overpass likely to be a staple due to that. Heroic. A good start in their gun round, finally with the rifles out. They've picking up the first spot. Problem is here for Heroic, not that, but they do have 2 smokes available. That's all the utility they have left at the minute mark, but they have got 2 kills. That puts them in a significant advantage, in terms of that at least.
Yeah,
no util for Fnatic either.
Yeah, they often don't really mind, like, playing within the confines of having very little utility. You know, you do see times where it comes back to haunt them, but this isn't, like, too out of the realm of normality for Heroic. You know, they've gone for like a slow first rifle round where they've bled kills out, they've bled utility out, and now with these 2 smokes, they're going to put together a bit of an offensive here. They don't have flashes. You would love some flashes to try and get people off of angles, but none of that today. Instead, they've just got to win these entries dry. Crims playing in tandem with Dignitas. They're going to play off the back of one another, but Testes is there, taking heads off, leaving it all on Forest. MP5 and a dream.
Big dream. Likely a nightmare. He looks to be slipping away. Don't think he's going to be getting anywhere close to the competition here. But Fnatic, you have to remember, this was a bit of a bonus round, but you got to feel when those 2 picks come in towards the end of the round on the site, just before Testes gets the double, you feel like there's an opportunity potentially to win the round in the end. Heroic come out swinging. They find the 2 early picks. Just the advantages you find there put you in such a significant lead. It's really hard for Fnatic to recover that, and maybe a better weapon here on the ground for Forest. Going to wait to the final seconds and then snatch that off the bench and slip away with an A1S. Go towards it. Nice little steal there for Forest, and stolen away is Forest. Gone. Dead. Smacked.
Dude, that's always the saddest. Like, you don't even attempt to win the round. You're just playing a saver gun.
Yeah.
You know, like, the highlight of the round was maybe I get out with an A1S, and there was never a chance to win.
You got the A1S, and then you're like, yeah, dead. Second later. But that's the double from Testes that really hammers the final nails into the coffin of Fnatic in that round. But look at that. You really wanted that A1S because you've got MP9s on 3 players here for Fnatic. And look at the setup. It's aggressive. 2 down long, 2 down middle. Mezzy already inside the connector. They're trying to get close and personal with these SMGs. Connector control being taken for Heroic, but it's Roy. He's pushed all the way through the playground. Testes waiting for it, gets the information. And Roy won't be getting behind him. It's instead Mezzy, who swings out, does damage, and forces Shush to kill his own teammate. But Testes is tracking Roy, realizes he's in the... early in the time, he looks away.
Yeah, bro, he realized, didn't he?
Yeah. Testes.
You had to say it. But man, it's like, he knows. Oh, no, he didn't know.
But he's seen him, dude.
I know.
He just thought Roy ran away, I guess.
Roy is very mobile. It's hard to predict his movements. He's like an arachnid.
Do you love arachnids? Spiders are my best friend.
Ugh.
Scorpions. Everything.
Well, all 8 legs for Fnatic here have to get moving. They do lose a couple, but it's Dignitas thinning the herd of Heroic and leaving it all on Cadian with nothing to do in a 1v3. He's very far removed from this round. I don't think he wants to give it a go.
No, he's saving this one. You know who Hugo told me his favorite Harry Potter character was today?
Go on.
The giant spider in the forest.
Oh, yeah?
Like, that's just a Hugo thing right there. You know, all the characters in Harry Potter you got, he picks, I think it's like Sheba or something, right?
Shelob, baby.
Shelob,
or is that
Shelob.
Lord of the Rings? I think that's
Shelob
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings spider, I think. I don't know.
Let me have a look here. I'm gonna Google Shelob.
Spider anyway. But that just really...
Yeah, Shelob's Lord of the Rings.
Alright, okay. That Spider is a lot more interesting.
What's his name? Like Steven or something?
Steven the Big Spider.
Aragog.
Aragog,
Kind of like Aragorn.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
the Lincoln. God, I hate having looked up spiders on my phone. I'm so arachnophobic, I can't even touch my phone if there's like a spider picture on it.
Hugo was telling the world about how he saves you from spider attacks.
I mean, that's just unequivocally not true.
Well, Hugo told the world. Harry said it is wrong. Choose you want to believe. AK for Cadian. He saved it. He's got a heroic AK, and he's dead. He's out of there. Crim's off to a flyer, and Fnatic have the advantage.
All right, refresh. Not one to want to give that AK away. He runs the gauntlet to go and grab it out through Monster. Kind of ballsy, but now he's got the rifle to play around with. Oh, a nice little boost up, right? Throw that in the mid-round. Get a kill out of it. You feel like it's a real blessing that you weren't being held there. They're doing it again. They're boosting a second time. Hello. Mezzy. Mezzy. Come on now. This is mean. Don't do 2 boosts in 1 round. Heroic were holding for it. They did spot him getting up on the boost. Roy has come down through Con, and this is all facilitated on the back of the mid info that's been gained by Fnatic. They have fully pushed through mid. So they know at this point that everyone is over towards this B site. They're just kind of restricting them. Look at the minimap. You are trapped in a Fnatic branded cage. Those are dropping soon.
Fnatic running a illegal fight camp in the sewers in Germany apparently, but it's all cleaned up. The kills are there. And 5 picked up, no problem for Fnatic. They keep it flawless, they keep everybody up, and that starts to recover their economy as well. It gets them a nice CT economy building early. And we heard Golden on the desk how important the CT strong start is here for Fnatic. You see Crims get to that boost you mentioned in the mid-round, very effective, appealing away another kill. Roy doing great work, again continuing his solid performance earlier on today. Was an absolute specialist on this map. A big reason as to why Fnatic started to come back into the game in that second half when they got over to the CT side. And given the fact that we know that T side earlier wasn't great, well, we're going to have to see how many rounds they can pick up on the CT side. Given the fact they're playing Heroic, who have a very lively, living organism of a defensive side, you want as many CT rounds as you possibly can get here if you're Fnatic. Not a lot of utility here for Heroic in this round, but they have got rifles out.
Yeah, kind of links back into what we were saying earlier, right? Heroic are very keen to just bring guns into play, and if that means you got to sacrifice a bit of util, you don't have enough to like throw these kind of avant-garde fakes or like big grandiose strategy into the round, that's all well and good. I think Kane's very much kind of a believer that if something's done right, it should work anyway, and that's what they're looking to do here, grouping up over towards long. They throw themselves into an early fight, and it goes even. 4v4. Refresh working this monster push, but is blindsided by Forest. And I mean, even if he got him, there was a really nice double setup employed there for Fnatic, so the trade was pretty much guaranteed. Mezzy doesn't know it yet, but Stown is right here, and he's not able to adjust in time. So that's the opener in towards this A site. Now the hit is looking to come through.
But below 30 seconds, Stown rips apart Roy. A little peek out, and that's his death sentence. Crim's under pressure. They continue to push forward here. Heroic closing the ground down, and the smokes are up. The force field keeping Fnatic at bay for the time being. And the plant is locked in. Forest. Oh, they check back. Long could have potentially been a strength, but ends up being a weakness. And Crims is forcibly removed from the round as well. Big round there to find for Heroic, staying competitive back and forth in these initial rounds on the board, not allowing Fnatic to build too much. The pick from Stown. Impact found again. Stown is really, I mentioned this yesterday on the desk, he's really becoming an elite tier player. You know, he's really getting into the cream of the crop of the Counter-Strike world. There's a reason Heroic are always a team you either call a dark horse or a contender at events with top teams, because they just have so much firepower, and Stown is at the forefront of that. The Pro League had numbers similar to that of the top rated players. You want to see consistency, though, out of Sound. If he can get there, then it would be fantastic to see this heroic side time and time again. But it's quicking to be here, Harry.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, the hold's looking really clean for Fnatic. They've dealt with these first two components that were kind of trying to spearhead the push. And now it's all about just containing Heroic, leaving them trapped out towards Monster. You know, you can't win the round at Monster. They need more control here, and they can't get it. It's just a repeated onslaught of utility, supplemented by Forest fighting through it. And so Fnatic, they pull up with that round there. They put a stop to the B hit. And Forest, the guy who was like really quiet back on Mirage, has started to remember what winning feels like again. And he likes that feeling, don't he?
He does. That's why he stuck around for a long time. Just that hunt for that boost of winning drug. He's been losing quite a bit, unfortunately, over the last few years for Forest. But imagine if he's able to take down Heroic today with Fnatic. Now that will be incredible. What a storyline that could develop if Fnatic do compete here with Heroic today.
This is about to just be an all-in monster rush, and these always make me so nervous. So often, you just get churned up, and the flash is good, and Crims is full blinded. Pistol was out. Oh my god, Forest gets caught swapping weapons. Ow. It's a double opener for Stown. Mezzi is desperately trying to regain control, desperately trying to regain some semblance of normality in this B site. But the round is already decided on the back of those 2 kills alone. Fnatic, they don't want to attempt this. It doesn't feel worth it. They're weighing up the pros and cons. And it feels like, you know, you could win it, sure. But if you don't and you attempt this round, you're broke. And that's a way back in for Heroic. They give them the respect here. They let this one slip on by.
You're right to be worried about that monster setup, but should have done a little bit more of that. Fnatic shouldn't have been that quick double from Stown, but as he was taking the first kill, he's seen the second opponent just fall in behind. He was able to react quick enough to take down both, and Fnatic have to weigh up the risk assessment. And that's a big save for the 2 rifles as well, and Heroic snapped into the round win. That's man Stown, we were just talking about him moments ago. Well, he makes the difference in this one, that little X factor. And Fnatic, like I said, you need to pick up as many CT rounds as possible, but this is another one gone. It's frustrating, but it's one you have to stomach. And they'll get Kita on the mic.
Weighing in with a few choice words.
On those, I love how nice he is about it. I'd be like, guys, I'm not ready on the B hit. It's a low bite. They could just rush B, but you know, it's a diplomatic way.
Yeah, you know, I kind of get the vibe that that's like one of those round wins where you go into it and you go, okay, they probably don't go back to B. You know, they just got mauled in like a full gun round trying to fast hit it. They probably don't go back to it because, like, even the way that Fnatic were positioned kind of lends itself to that idea, right? You had like a push through con. You had like 3 players leaning over towards A and mid. It was just a double B hold where they're trying to delay it with util if it were to be the B hit, and it was in that kind of lull of pulling utility that Heroic were able to find like the leg up and get all that success. So yeah, that one's gonna hurt if you're Fnatic, right? If you think back to Mirage, the whole 30-round affair could have been very, very different if they didn't lose to that full eco round right off the bat. In the kind of third of the conversions. So, you know, these rounds do matter. They do matter a hell of a lot. And Heroic know that one round can make all the difference.
Well, we said Mezzi loves a bit of overpass. Well, earlier today, went 7-21, had a very quiet performance, and they lost the map. He's currently yet to frag on the server right now. 0-3 right now on Mezzi. Just letting him get involved at some point within these rounds, within the first 10, maybe get him feeling a bit more confident. Not really in the position to deal with early fights. He's playing towards Graffiti in this round. But it's Roy and Khan who's taking the first kill. Shush walks into the den. And Roy, just like Shelob, takes him out, wraps him up. She could do it, in fact. Make ball.
Yeah. That's what Hugo believes the little goblin guy's called.
Definitely not his precious. But 50 seconds left in the timer as you head under the minute mark. Fnatic, triple setup inside of the B site. Stronghold there for the time being, and even stronger out towards long. Nico does. Forces the life out of Testis. Refresh extends out Monster, but Forest claims his life. That's a non-starter for Heroic.
Yeah, no, mate. They tried to do something they like doing, which is where they kind of like launch an offensive on both sides of the map. They really are a team that you'll actually do it a fair bit, and it's, you know, it's kind of unusual in like the grand scheme of Counter-Strike meta, but Heroic have made it work a hell of a lot. You know, oftentimes they're winning at least one of those attempts, right? They're winning either over towards A, maybe they get an opener, maybe that jiggles the setup around down towards B, and then that only lends like more credit to what would have been that swing from Refresh, right? The idea is, as Fnatic start to jiggle the rotate around, he kind of catches them unawares, and suddenly you can create a lot of space there, but it isn't without its risks, you know, and you can sometimes just lose both fights, and exactly what happened.
Yeah, it just looks silly when
exactly, yeah, it does look silly. It's like, you look at that and you go, well, no one had any support, no one could have done anything. If they do both lose, the round's over, and the round was over as soon as they both lose that fight. But it's like more often than not, Heroic actually win at a bare minimum one of those, normally both of them. So, yeah, you know, they're going back to, or sorry, they're trying to do like what often works. But Fnatic have got answers this time. They're a lot more comfortable in these head-to-heads.
Yeah, and this is quick in terms of Heroic taking that water control. They're very speedy to position. Stavn gonna climb up on top, peering down into the B side. No one given the opportunity yet on top of this boost. Stavn will hold. Patience is the virtue, and Stavn is rewarded for it. Heroic now have the advantage to play with out of the T side. With a minute 10 seconds left on the clock, they don't even have to commit anywhere, but the numbers are significantly leaning towards this B site, which leads me to believe that play is about to come through rather soon.
Yeah, Fnatic, though, they remember what happened last time, right? They've already pulled a third player down here towards B. Now, he is starting to shuffle away. Re-smoking Monster is at least going to buy you a little more time here. Heroic are content waiting, and they don't really have options anywhere else on the map, so you probably do just follow through with the B hit. This is where it starts to take shape. They're moving up the short side, they're getting ready at long, the Heaven Smoke's gone in, and now the hit is coming.
It's very quick up through short, 30 seconds, Crim's under play. A lot of fire coming his way, and Shushin will refresh a couple. Mezzi tries to hold, but he can't fight in two fronts, and that puts Roy into a position that just isn't winnable. He starts to realize all of his teammates are gone, they've been strung up by Heroic. And Roy is off to the save call. Good stuff from Stavn again. Just that multi-kill potential every time he goes into that B site. Heroic are starting to find a few weaknesses in terms of their explosive ability into this B site as a group.
Obviously, you know, we kind of seen a trend of like maps becoming a little like more CT-sided in the A1S meta. What would you say is like a healthy scoreline here for Heroic if you were to put a number on it? What's enough on the T side? Because, you know, folks at home might be looking at like 4-6. They might be thinking, okay, well, Fnatic are in a really good spot. They're up in the lead. They're building upon this. But is it that much of a simple story, Dinko?
Well, I don't think so, given the fact that Fnatic's T side earlier today wasn't great. And I think Heroic's CT side is very difficult to deal with. Like, Overpass is a map where you can play quite aggressive as a CT. You can try and find the gaps and force the issues. And we've seen how Fnatic struggled earlier today against the likes of Big. So for me, I look at this and I want 5 or 6 rounds, and I think Heroic are in a very, very good position. Any more than that, I think Fnatic are in a bad position.
Right.
So, yeah, it feels like Heroic are 1 or 2 rounds away from feeling good about their second half affair, and Fnatic 3 away from feeling terrible.
Man, I've had the absolute pleasure of watching and casting so much of Mezzi on Overpass. Usually, he is a star here, right? But it's clear that burdened with the IGL role, having to spend a lot of time, you know, looking at what everyone else is doing, it looks like it is kind of impacting his individual performance on this map. And you even note that, by the way, look at this timing that Stavn's hit. Like, this is insane. This is the round right here. You're watching it. This is a fit for Heroic. I mean, don't get me wrong, he could just die and get nothing done, or the backstab from Roy, like, you know, this battle of timings could be hit, but he's too late, and Stown is too deep. Yeah. He is cutting off rotations as they're moving in. They didn't even know this was a possibility, and so the round is done. And I like that about Heroic, man. They, similar to this idea of like trusting your teammates to hit both bomb sites at the same time. When Stown there calls, I have a bit of a feeling, guys, I've gotten very deep down short. No one has seen me. I'm just going to full send it into A. You guys group and come meet me with the bomb. And they're willing to give him all the respect to make that play happen.
Yeah, we've seen a similar round in the Astralis versus Imperial game today where Astralis just kept pushing contact up through bathrooms. If you don't see anybody, you just keep going. You just keep going until you're so deep that you really can't lose the round because you just cut off rotations that are running up the stairway. If you just let your teammates make first contact in the bathroom setup, then you're in such a good position now. And that's a free round for Heroic. It wasn't really even difficult.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, this is actually where this idea of like this Fnatic squad being so new, with Mezzi being so new to the IGL role, these are pieces that Fnatic won't really have the same level of access to, right? You know, if you're Mezzi and someone says to you like, yo, I might have found a timing here, I'm up in toilets right now, odds are he just goes for like the safer option, which is, okay, let's group them, we'll hit the A site together as a team. He doesn't necessarily have that like same understanding of, or trust is maybe the wrong word, but you know, like the same synergy with his team to recognize moments like that.
From reading Mezzi's interview though, it really felt like he wasn't like a hardcore IGL. It was more of a, he is the main voice. Yeah. But a lot of ideas get thrown his way.
A lot of people are like chipping in.
Yeah, right? And he makes the final decision on, you know, what idea he thinks best, what elements of each idea, and he's the guy who makes the final call. It's on him essentially to make that call, but you're going to get a lot of opportunities to hear a lot from the other teams. So I think that's essential for a guy who's never IGL before at this level.
I think it's really good versus maybe any opponent other than Heroic.
Yeah, it's really hard to play
Heroic. Their strength is in this this synergy of the team and how they believe in like Cadian's system and they play around his style. And so those conversations don't necessarily need to happen. Everyone already knows their responsibilities. Everyone already recognizes opportunities, and it kind of flows. Whereas, you know, that idea of the discussion maybe hamstrings you in terms of looking for like fast split-second decision making. You know, if Stown had slowed down for, let's say, even like 5-6 seconds there while him and Cadian have that back and forth of like, do I commit with the push? Do I keep going?
They have the killer instinct.
Exactly, right? They have that instinct. Yeah, 100%. So, okay, Fnatic, it's now a tie game. This is where they have to try and turn it all back in their favor. If Heroic go above them in the board, if they go off on a 7, Fnatic run out of money, Heroic are looking to win out the half. It's all spelling disaster for Fnatic's life here at the Pinnacle Cup Championship.
Well, the first fight will be Roy to go down. Shu shreds through him, and the first kill already in Heroic's hands. Oh, this is not the start Fnatic would have hoped for. With everything you put on the line there, Harry, it's just starting to feel very, very weak. Small note as well, it was very interesting to see in the timeout. Just sprung to mind the fact that Exist stands behind the Heroic side. Forest sits in the player's seat on the Fnatic side. Ex-teammates from the NIP days. Forest in this round holding strong. Stown is down. Refresh falls as well. Fnatic staying in this one. And it's Forest that's lifting them out of the hole. They've got the advantage. Under a minute left. Cadian jiggles to try and find info, and he will find Forest. Head is gone. And now it's Nicodas into the 1v2, coming back down to the lower site. No kit, no utility, but everything on his shoulders.
Weight of the world here. Is he going to crumble under the pressure? Nicodas moving in, and right now Heroic, they are full set to just play around this bomb. It's set up for Cadian to win this in a clutch, right? If somehow Nicodas gets past this AWP, Cadian can play the time. That's assuming he manages to survive the crossing. It's not going to be easy, and Tessez swinging out from behind Pillar. It's in those little moments, it's in those little 2v1s, man, that Heroic really shine. They were set up in such a way that for Nicodas to win that would have required some like incredible individual effort. There was not going to be a misstep out of Heroic for you to capitalize on. He had to do it every step of the way, and with that not happening, it's now 4 in a row for the Heroic squad. The money broken for Fnatic. Fnatic. They are starting to run away with this T side, and that could spell disaster for this new look Fnatic squad.
Yeah, bring it back to the point I made a few rounds ago. The fact that, you know, you're looking at 5 or 6 for Heroic and you feel good, but 7, you're getting into territory where it's Fnatic's nightmare. You have so much more to do now on the T side, the side that you did nothing on earlier today. Roy trying to get them a miracle here, 5-7 into the double kill on the connector. A 2-man advantage picked up already for Fnatic. Heroic start to barrel back to B. This is the decisiveness, this is the killer instinct perhaps that Heroic have. The push through, letting Refresh try and gain this ground back. They know they still have the weaponry advantage. They have that superiority, but now they need the kills.
Yeah, Refresh at the front. Dispatching a Forest, was ready for a short side duel, but it doesn't matter. Mezzi holds the line, and with support from Dignitas, it will be a Fnatic round delivered. They put a stop to one of these B plays, and that's nice, man. That's actually a big win for Fnatic. They had next to nothing coming into that round, and on top of that, they maybe remove an element of the toolkit of Heroic here, which is these fast B plays, these explosions that started this, you know, cascade of round for the Heroic side.
And it's Roy in the initial play in the connector that gets a double kill with a 5-7. The net damage is good, softens up the first player. He's able to swing by, catches both of them, and that's the impact frag that gets them the round. If he gets traded even 1-for-1 there, likely still Heroic win the round, but Roy's doing good work. 12-5 right now. Snown has opened things up though. Dignitas tries to fight early in towards mid, just loses his life. And now Roy locking down connector, more pressure on his shoulders once more. Try and pull one of those kills back if Heroic come his way, but they're avoiding him. Is there a change-up in how Fnatic decide to play the defense? There's 2 players getting inside close to Monster in this crossfire. Might be quite difficult for Heroic if they try and come through Monster in this late round. Forest has decided to peek. Now that's ballsy and it's paid off.
That is an insane fight to take. Like, it's so easy for a T-side player to just nail your legs before you even see them. And Forest finds that perfect window. Oh, even more damage. Okay, on the reload, they might look to come through. There it is, there's the push. Crims didn't have his gun out, wasn't able to help. This B site is overwhelmed. Fnatic knocked out. They're dizzy. It's just Mezzi left standing. 1v4. A big ask of him here.
Yeah, it's not looking good here for Mezzi. Cadian creeping closer with a scope, and he will close. A fantastic half for Heroic. 8-7, 8 T-rounds on a CT side of map in this meta. That is unbelievably solid from Heroic, and that is a nightmare for Fnatic now as they continue into the second half. They need a pistol, and they need everything after that. They need a fantastic start. Fnatic can't afford to get off to the slow starts we've seen in their half so far. They can't lose to the force spies. They can't lose to the pistols. They need to keep it clean, and they need to pick up the first gun round as alongside the pistol and the conversion. They need a lot here starting off this second half. They know the hard work begins, and this will be a true test so early on for Mezzi on the in-game leadership. You've got to deal with Heroic CT side. Well, they are ahead. This team is more dangerous when they're ahead because they take more risks. They feel emboldened by the fact that they've got rounds to play with. They will play a bit more risky and take a few more of those classic Heroic plays, and you've got to deal with that. Pistol begins. Some utility here for Mezzi. Everyone else on Kevlar for the T side. And look at this. Heroic already pushed through water, taking control, gathering info outside of B immediately. Fnatic are barreling alongside, but Testis is already holding for this, looking to delay.
Oh, that is a big dink, mate. That is going to force a lot of respect out of Testes over here towards A. He can't take these long fights anymore. He can't take these long duels.
The longer they take, though, Fnatic can try and go back down Con, but this flank from Shush, he could try and get in behind them if he starts to consider it, but they've actually dodged him. They have a window to get into an empty B site if they commit now, but it's just unlikely they make that call. They don't have enough info to do it.
Right? Like, Dignitas is getting pressured here in the toilets, and if it's his party player that ends up getting rid of him, they're going to know that B is now empty. Shush springs the trap, but that is a golden invitation, a golden ticket for Fnatic. Fnatic to go and take that B site. Mezzy is still in the toilet, still in the bathrooms, trying to disrupt these rotates. He's behind enemy lines right now, and in a spot that could look to win the whole damn round. Instead, Cadian gonna wait for him, gonna hang around for that push. It's a 5v3. Heroic have found all the glory so far. Now they've just got to stop this bomb from going off.
Coming back in, they're coming in quickly, and the kills will follow. It's just Roy, and he's towards Graffiti. So many Heroic players applying pressure to his position, and they ream him out. Cadian with the headshot, Defuse is being stuck around the corner, and with that pistol going Heroic's way, they are in pole position to knock Fnatic out here in Lund. Mezzy not a player to get flustered. He doesn't really have the personality to allow his emotions to get the better of him. He will stay composed, but...
I mean, yeah, I think it's actually like a very interesting, you know, like dichotomy between these teams, right? On the Heroic side, it's like super loud, super screechy. For Fnatic...
Any other adjectives you got there, Aaron? Ear-bleedingly loud.
Yeah. You know, for Fnatic, it's like very stoic. Like, even outside of Mezzy, who else do you got? Well, you got Crims, like Mr. Calm, Forest. Like, it doesn't even need an introduction as to how calm he is. And Roy and Nikados aren't like the loudest two either. This fight over in mid is super awkward, man. You've been spammed out. You don't have this control. You do have guys up con, but right now Heroic have got the bomb, and so the real challenge is just beginning, and nothing is landing. Oh no, Forest dead at long, and so Heroic up on a 10. Now a full eco for Fnatic. The lead is going to grow even greater for the Danes.
Yeah, buy your Heroic stock now. It feels like that's going to be going up, no problem here. Again, the expectations for Fnatic coming into this event, for me, pretty low in terms of, you know, how quick the roster is put together. Some of the teams here, their opening game. Didn't really expect Fnatic to be that competitive yet. You know, I look at this team and I think, okay, this is exciting for the future, but how is this going to click? You've just had so many different players and so many different teams all just coming together. This takes a long time to figure out. But this is, you know, obviously we talk about the honeymoon period. We got to actually get a little bit of context as to what that meant by Golden on the desk in terms of, oh, the comms, everybody's over-comming, everybody's hyped as hell to be together, and the comms are flowing. But Fnatic, I think, have performed beyond expectations. I think the best of 3 versus Heroic's probably a little step too far.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a reason why, like, there's few IGLs out there at the top level who are able to bring in, you know, like a stand-in, for example, and still perform, right? Obviously, the most recent one that kind of springs to mind would be Karrigan, right? And when you look at his, like, tenure as an IGL, he is so experienced, he is so knowledgeable, he is fully prepared in moments like that to, you know how and where to allocate those resources to make the new face feel comfortable. And it's like, for Mezzy right now, not only is he embarking on the journey of being new to the IGL role, but he's got a brand new roster. He's got Forest in here, who is like kind of this temporary 5th at the moment, who got kind of brought into the fold very, very late. So I think there's a hell of a lot on Mezzy's plate right now, and that's why, you know, you're getting these kind of low performance games out of him by his metrics, what we're used to seeing. And so I think, you know, looking at it like that, it's going to be down to these other 4 players on Fnatic to bridge that gap, right? To make life easier for Mezzy. If he's feeling like he's got to micromanage every single round, then you kind of have him off the board, and that's just how it's going to be. Fnatic need to turn it around, or else this is going to be very, very dire. Heroic will move up to 12, the money would be gone again, and so at that point they are sprinting towards the finish line. This is one of the few opportunities you're going to have to offer up some resistance on the Fnatic side.
Well, Heroic get pushed through Monster already, so they've got a lot of control there. They also blew open the connector door and got info as to how many players were there, or just that there was significant numbers in position there early. So you see Heroic immediately rotate those extra players up towards A. And now the boost over the sign. Tesses looking down into the bathroom. Hasn't seen anybody just yet, but his position, you've got to feel like it's strong enough for at least one. Flash is good, tucks his head down, should be coming back up, and this time takes away Forest. Advantage siding with Heroic. Tessa swings out again. He's even got some support, but he doesn't need it. Tessa's taking 3, and everything is crumbling for Fnatic in this round until that point. Dignitas with a double through the smoke, finally put in the ground by Tessa, who gets himself another 4K. He's on for the ace. He's on for all 5. And somehow, some way, we are at a 1 versus 2, which actually feels winnable for Crims.
Yeah, got to put a stop to a very warmed-up Tessa, though. 4 in the round and hungry for all 5. Tucked in at the dumpster, waiting as Crims looks to make his move. They have pincered him here. He's vulnerable to short. He's vulnerable to dumpster, but Crims... Oh, he's got it down to the 1v1. Gotta go get the bomb.
He has to kill.
And in doing so, he's running into Refresh. Knife out as he runs to the site. There's the swing. Refresh has slowed him down enough, and that's the round right there. Heroic up on a 12. They don't even need to win all the fights. Just the tag was enough out of that guy. And so Refresh and Tessa, between the two of them, put that round on the board for Heroic.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Tessa. This 4K, just perfect. Gets up on the boost, able to come away with 4. His second peek out, just lightning fast of the head of Mezi. There's nothing you can do about that. And this is how it even got close. Dignitas just got this kind of lucky spam to the smoke, got 2 headshots, pulls it back into contention. Crim's close to it, unfortunately, not enough time. It's not his side, but Tessa's now confident. This is what I mean. When you're so far ahead, you see these risks taken, you see these aggressive maneuvers come through from Heroic. And it makes it really difficult to play against when they're constantly pushing you or in behind you or getting the timings, the info. Fnatic taking water control, trying to settle into this round. Dignitas spotted.
There's actually a chance for Fnatic here. You know, they don't have a lot of utility, so the B play makes a lot of sense. You can just try to win this opening fight with a couple of well-placed flashes. As they look to move in, though, they've lost that first engagement, and so the momentum kind of seeps out of the B take. Dignitas over on short, does pepper them with 1. Mezi snuck out through Monster. It's in these late round moments that Mezi can still find impact, right? He's not having to manage anything now, and so he is just focusing on himself and getting this space. He's good for the kill, and it's left to KD, who's swung again by Mezi. Double dips in and puts a round on the board for Fnatic. They managed to come in with that one. It's a little bit pacier, it's a little bit faster.
And it didn't feel like they were going to win it at the start, right? It didn't feel like they had that one in the bag, but able to convert it. And maybe, just maybe, a bit of a lifeline. The first block being put down here.
You know, I want the folks to kind of cast their mind back to Mirage and what we saw from Fnatic's T side there. And one of the things that was problematic was this idea of it feels so tempting when you play Heroic to slow down, to wait for the aggression, to try and catch players pushing. But this is punished Fnatic. In that A hit, there was a lot of utility left because they didn't get enough of it out of the ranks of Heroic early on. And they were left pushing in like the final 30 seconds with smoke still in play.
But you also allow those aggressive maneuvers to become more potent because they've pushed forward. They've taken the map control somewhat.
So, you know, it's one of these things now where like Fnatic just won that round by kind of being a little more pacier, by taking control of short, and Monster and having very clear intentions to just run it into the B site. And I kind of hope we see that reflect in how these next few rounds go. Let's see if we catch a bit of a different T-side vibe to what we did on Mirage. Fnatic are grouping outside of B again, and their window for like the perfect hit has just kind of eluded them, really. Heroic actually deep pushed over towards long and mid, and they got the info that no one was there. So they start to scramble these bodies back down to B, and with the man advantage, Heroic can now just play retake in the 5v4.
Oh, big kill from Cadian. That could be a difference maker in this hole for Fnatic. They thought that was their chance. If Dignitas takes down Cadian, if he tries to stop the attack forward into the retake, well, maybe, just maybe, Fnatic would have been able to hold on. But now they have to look to Roy, and he's done very well to get 1. Mezi stepping up alongside of him, and they're finding their crucial kills to keep this one afloat. Suddenly they look back towards short, and Heroic's significant player advantage is now dwindled just down to 2 players, and it's still toppling. Mezi and Roy pull it off together. Fnatic with a 9th. That's an essential round, and a little pat on the shoulder of appreciation from Kita as Mezi finally gets into the game.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really think that's going to be a bit of a common trend on this T side as the numbers dwindle, as it is just Mezzi responsible for holding one position, one angle, and having to win those fights. I think that's where you're going to get the most mileage out of him. It kind of looks like, you know, like when he was throwing into having to anchor down bomb sites while we're in like 5v5s in that first half. Sometimes he would be overwhelmed. Sometimes it would feel like he was caught looking, you know, at the mini-map, checking what's up, trying to give info. The kind of reaction speed just wasn't up to snuff with what we're used to out of this guy. But it's in these little like 2v4, 2v3 moments where he's only got one player fighting alongside him who clearly communicates their intent and what they're doing, that he just comes alive. He comes into his own. It's moments like that where you get, you know, vintage Mezzi shining through. And that's now 2 in a row for Fnatic. This is starting to give them a route back in as they've broken the money of Heroic. It means that this third round, providing they don't lose to a full eco again, should be as good as done. Heroic have always got ideas for how they want to play rounds like this. Molotov into middle. And a 4-5-man grouping. Cadian bought armor and a 5-7. You might wonder why. He wanted to get the molly to try and give this illusion that they could have peeked mid and also get the info as to whether or not Fnatic are there. And now they know they've slowed them down in middle. They start to take con. They hear all these footsteps. Heroic have got all the information, and that's what they were looking for. And yeah, we talk about mobile CT sides. Look at this.
They were just going on a little marathon together.
It's a convoy, mate.
Yeah. It's cute. Little security mission.
Man, park up the RV.
We're moving on. Freedom. Minute 5 seconds left on this clock. They have actually raced their way to the A side because they thought Fnatic were actually going to go a bit quicker there to the A side, but they managed to get there on time, and all the traps have now been laid, all the little booby traps.
Oh, man, I don't want to see them lose to USPs again, but it is making me nervous. It's a slow walk into the A site, into a gimmicky boost with everyone else here ready to flood on in.
They could go back, but there is a risk to that as well. You don't really know if there's anybody in the connector, but eventually they should start to see the numbers. But the problem is Forrest is committing with a bomb, so he goes down. Maybe there's a problem here, but he has handled the first player well. Second, even better. Now gets taken out. Fine setup. It shouldn't be amounting to too much. Fnatic taking the kills, and yeah, it does get a little scary in terms of how many players were there. The first kill obviously going the way of Heroic doesn't help matters, but Forrest stands strong, gets the double. And from that point onwards, it's rather smooth sailing for Fnatic to take the round. But nothing was expected of Heroic coming into that one. We now expect Heroic to be purchasing out back into the buy again, and that's where they will continue to be competitive. Even think about the situation that Fnatic won in the gun round prior, right? That was a round they probably should have lost in the post plant. But we've seen Roy and Mezzi step up. Those kind of rounds aren't exactly replicable time and time again. You're going to need a little bit of a better system here to get them into favorable positions, and that doesn't help. You've gone down early. 30 HP on Roy, the utility. Luckily still standing, and Crimsel slink his way through into water control.
Yeah, it's kind of like a battle of, you know, a jack of all trades versus a master of their craft, right? Everyone's very much bought into the Cadian system for the Heroic side of things. Everyone knows their roles and responsibilities to a T. Whereas Fnatic, it is more loose, it is more free-flowing, and so now we're going to get that answer, you know, which is better. Crims opening up the round, an early 5v4. And considering the damage that was sustained by Roy and Mezzi, he'll take that all day long. Nikados is now trying to sweeten the deal, creeping up short with this AWP. Haven't really seen him take this AWP pick attempt. It's one that someone like Cadian actually is very fond of doing. So let's... Oh, no!
Hashtag remove the train!
The train just ruined the strat. Mezzi, nothing's going right, bro. Oh, no.
I'm about to molly barrel 3, 2, 1. Ah! Someone didn't check the train timetable, dude. 35 seconds. Fnatic at least still hold the man advantage, but that is irritating.
That molly would have got you a kill. It would have forced the barrel player out. It would have at least
Here comes the barrel player at least.
At a bare minimum, Shush does go running into his death right. And so that's given you this invitation into the B play.
Oh,
it's
refresh,
only refresh here. He is all alone. No one else can help him. He's got to do the heavy lifting. And with only one kill found, it's looking like a Fnatic round right here.
Yeah, no problem. Fnatic, initial... When they try to go, the molly hits off the train, you think it's a problem. You think it's starting to really capitulate. Are they going to be able to stay composed? But they find the crucial kills. Crims with the opening, finds the follow-up a little bit later in the round as well. Heroic, this CT side isn't clicking as well as I thought it was going to be. Couple of opportunities going awry now. This is great. Fnatic staying in the competition in terms of this map for the time being. I'm starting to love some of these calls from Fnatic. Losing down early for Heroic never helps, right? You're losing your sharpest tool in the shed. Most lethal asset.
I'm actually a big fan of this. I feel like we're watching almost like an evolution of Fnatic as the game goes on. It's like, as it's continued, Messi's kind of realized that maybe the greatest strength isn't by trying to go for what I would have considered some almost like Alex-esque calls, where you're kind of playing some smoke timings, you know, you're trying to like
I think you're going to see a lot of inspiration from the Alex way of calling.
So there definitely was early on, but like as this has continued, it feels like he's just putting a lot more faith in all these great entry players that he's surrounded with. He's even taking less opening fights, and I actually like that. You know, Messi used to be someone who was used to getting involved early, but I think for him, maybe the solution is having him be more of like a late round player. Give that credit to people like Forest, to Roy, you know, maybe set Nikodos up if he gets like a really good spawn for some good pathing for a mid or com peak. It's all these little things that we're noticing that are creeping in more and more, and it's building actually a very, very strong foundation for Fnatic. I don't think you were ever going to beat Heroic on a tactical basis, but where you can look to get ahead is by sending in some of these stalwart entry players that you have and have them do what they do best.
Get
and
some
that's what we're getting.
action.
Exactly. Put Roy up against, you know, someone like Stown right out of the gate. Get him out of the server early on.
SS.
Oh my God.
He did this a few times, but
he's
look at the timing.
threading the needle, man.
He's right to the hole, isn't he? He's about to come around the backside. He's backtracking. He spotted one. Takes it immediately. Testis now focuses in towards the top mid. Good jump spot to see the other one at long. And Testis has gathered info and still standing. He poses a threat. And he's going to go and fight Roy down. Oh, Testis taking matters into his own hands. Nearly comes away with a triple. But that is an essential kill to come through for Nikodos. Forest now grabbing the gap, realizing he can push forward, catches Shush out of position. He could find another here as well. Jump spot comes through, Stown. Oh, so clean! Get tapped! Forest just wrecks down. Showing that, yeah, he's a youngster, but Forest has just tapped him. The old reign supreme in this round for the time being. Cadian and Refresh in a 2v3, 44 seconds left. Fnatic have the advantage, but it can quickly turn. They're going to have to try and play the percentages here, not to let this one slip away. And Forest has a shot to bring down Cadian, and that should be the kill. That should be it locked in. Refresh with just the dig. But he's on the right side of the map here, Harry. Maybe. Refresh is known to pull off some unthinkable moments. And here he goes again.
Oh my. Oh, Forest, thank goodness. Thank goodness he was there, locked, loaded, and ready to go. I don't know, man. I've seen Refresh win wilder rounds, I can tell you that much. But that one will sail on past Heroic. You know, in spite of Tesses' best efforts, he might have started it with that gnarly double, almost a triple, over towards long. But it's quickly forgotten about as Forest and the gang, they regain control.
Yeah, this is great from Forest, just a proactive play. You know, when you bring someone like Forest into the team, you know you're going to get someone who isn't going to be scared to try and win you or lose you around, right? That's the thing. I think it was very similar with Snacks when he played with N-Silver in Dallas. When you have these experienced players, they just won't feel scared to go and take a play, to take responsibility in a round. With some teams, you get the stand and it's a little more inexperienced. They're too scared to lose you the round. They feel like the responsibility is on their shoulders. But Forest, he's willing to make that play, realizing, okay, we've lost two essential pieces to the puzzle in this early round. He needs to make space, and he does. He finds it in towards the bathrooms. He pushes forward. He finds the impact. And the unfortunate thing, again, here for Fnatic is, in this round, they've lost that first player, and it's Crims that's gone down. So they've got to play with the 5 versus 4 deficit. Heroic have the advantage with a minute left on the clock.
Still, it's good rooting here to try and make something of this round, right? They've dodged this triple A lean out of Heroic, but they're very, very slow to push the go button. And eventually Heroic decide, okay, we feel comfortable leaving KD in here. Cadian sends the 2 guys that were with him down to reinforce the B hold. So a pick might actually be deceptive in nature here for Fnatic. They might assume they've got more room or more chances than they do in this B play. And these guys who are rotating down have also got utility that's now going in to slow down this exec. The man on short has to go ahead of the molly, and it all gets so awkward. They're forced to go, not on their own merit, not on their own terms, but by the utility of Heroic.
And now the damage the Teslas got in the last round, it isn't really about the round win, but it's more about the economic implications that may come in this round after a loss like that, right? You don't even compete, you don't get the bomb down, you don't really even go back and forth. So you can see the buy is starting to get into its last legs. It is still a strong purchase here from Fnatic. You'll still have the AWP, you'll still have the 3 AKs. The Galil has to come into the hands of Mezzi, and that's the one weakness in terms of the rifles. But if they lose this round, they'll be down to the weaker buy, the upgraded pistols, and Heroic should be charging towards 15 rounds on the board. And that start is not what you like to see if you're a Fnatic fan. Cadian might just follow up on it as well here for Heroic. He's in a strong position.
It's problematic because they haven't had to contend with this yet, right? Cadian was playing here last round, but they never saw him. They never learned about this AWP. So as they start to move in, often is the case that this first kill from the long AWP feels kind of free. You normally have to trade it. And so it's going to come down to Fnatic hitting this timing to split Cadian in the long toilets. He's going to have the shadow advantage as they move in through the mouth of the toilet.
Yeah,
and
I do love that.
Yeah.
Get my mouth all over the toilet. Cadian going through though, and Nika does. He's down and out. Heroic starting to send Fnatic to the bathrooms themselves, but Mezzi's fighting back. He will not be bullied. He stands up tall, but not for long. He gets slapped by the bigger guy, and Roy and Crims into the 2 versus 4. Down, starting to make his way long, and will start to fight and isolate Roy, realizing he's likely there alone, and he feels himself to go for the fun 1v1 fight. So now it's just Crims. And you don't want to stay in the bathrooms alone. You know, hanging out in the bathrooms on your own is a bit weird. So Crims is out of that. 24 seconds left.
You only go to the bathroom with friends.
Yeah, bro, I go there with my friends. Hang out in the bathrooms with your friends. It's less weird.
Right, Crims, he doesn't have any mates. They're all gone. He's the last of a dying breed in this round. 1v4 and 10 seconds to play with. Tries his hand at the stick and Refresh swings on out. Dispatches of him. Don't even break a sweat there, do Heroic. And this is them surging ahead. The game might have been close. Fnatic might have been attempting another one of these comebacks. But at the end of the day, to the victor to go the spoils.
And the mouth of the toilet. But anyway, we have, of course, Fnatic being broken down to what is going to be an eco, right? We're looking at a couple of Ds, couple of maybe upgraded pistols coming through as the best thing to talk about here for Fnatic. But that means they are conceding this. They are allowing Heroic to go to 15 without much of a contest, which means Fnatic feel like they have to play for overtime. And overtime, that doesn't seem like a million miles away, right? That still feels like a possibility if Fnatic get a good buy into this next round. Nothing coming their way. Heroic this time should be aware of the economic situation on the Fnatic side. They want to just sit back, allow Fnatic some space to work with, but you don't want to go and push and give away one of these solo fights, give away a rifle, give away a better gun to allow Fnatic into the round. So it's much more patient from the Heroic side, but still lively, still rotating a couple of players in and out of the B side. We're under a minute already here, and the first step up is 4, his first to the death, as Tessus just knocks him down off the flower bed.
Yeah, not the start you wanted in a little eco round like this. If you get the first, maybe it spirals, maybe it gets wild, but with it going against you and with Heroic padding out this A bomb site, the chances of doing much here are pretty slim. This should be Heroic onto 15. Okay, maybe that's going to give you a little bit more breathing room here.
I got an AK out of that as well, so Roy has that to play with, but you still look at the time. 25 seconds, they have to maneuver their way towards the site, and in doing so... I was going to say, you had a player you had to worry about in the form of Stown, but you've got rid of him, and now Heroic start to panic. They start to drop back. Testis' position should be enough to just clothesline him, and he will absolutely ensure the round win for Heroic, but it gets a little worrying towards the end there. Heroic take it nonetheless, and that does put them up to 15 rounds, one away from knocking Fnatic out here.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Like, you kind of see the very different philosophy in how to play those rounds between these teams, right? Fnatic have tried to go pretty slow in a lot of their eco rounds, try to go for like a late hit once the utilities burn through, whereas Heroic are not afraid to just group as 5 and fight you early in those eco rounds, so that then when they get into those like 2v4s with a gun, they've got more time. They don't have that pressure to quickly assault a bomb site. Fnatic didn't have that. They had to commit to A, and so that round falls apart for them. Last chance saloon for Fnatic. It's do or die, elimination, or a battle into overtime and then running it back again. Cadian's waiting in the divider. He knows they're up close, but he will be caught by Nikados.
Oh.
Roy follows up with another. It's the Danes doing it all. The Copenhagen Falmez graduates coming in with 2 kills, and it's opened up a route into the round.
It looks like it is the round. Heroic are so far away. Have conceded this one. And that's going to be Fnatic. That's the most important one to it. Obviously, you lose this, you're down. But it keeps the guns in their hands going into this next round as well. Keeping it clean. If you hemorrhage a few players here and you still win the round, you're going to have some economic troubles. You're going to have some weaker weapons. But this is Fnatic keeping the round clean and picking it up. So they're going to have plenty of utility. They're going to have all the premium weapons. They're going to have a double-up setup as it stands on the T side. Now, I don't know if you're going to want the double-up setup on the T side of play, especially because a couple of these quicker rounds have been working for Fnatic. The double-up setup will slow you down, and you don't really... There we go. Thank God for that. Crims will pick up the AK. Momentarily held the AWP, but this is Fnatic now on their march to overtime. First step of the next few, 2 more rounds, and then overtime is possible. Just remember, cast your mind back to Mirage. We thought overtime was coming through. We thought it was about to happen. Heroic broke their hearts. But Fnatic showing us that this brand new roster, with all these role changes, all these team changes, are able to go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the world and make them sweat right now. This is impressive.
Yeah, you know, I mean, from 15-6 to a full 30-round game on Mirage, and on this one, it's far closer margins. Fnatic are trying to launch another one of these comebacks. They return to a bit of a slower round here. Heroic, they do like to double push Monster on smoke fades. It's a good way that they know when to get information early. With them losing Tesses over here on A, these guys outside of Monster might actually start to feel a bit of pressure to get involved. Hang on, that smoke hit was heard. Now no. Heroic, no, that smoke made contact, so they're ready for the Monster push. Refresh and Shush have lit them up. The bomb is out in no man's land. There's under a minute left. And Fnatic, now a man down with no bomb, need to play into this one. They need to get into that B site before they can even think about getting this bomb planted. This is not how they wanted it to go, and it all started with a fleshy smoke sound effect.
Weather as we established yesterday, but 35 seconds. That might just be all that is left for Fnatic here in Lund. Nikados holds no mistake coming. Eventually, Fnatic need to make the play. Eventually, they need to leap towards that bomb. The time isn't getting any easier. You aren't getting more of it to play with. 20 seconds. Fnatic have to go. If they don't go now, it is done on time.